Uh, okay. We are live. We are live and in living color. We are live and in living color. I guess what happens is once you engage with something, the algorithm just gets the algorithming. Excuse me. And you know, Westy and her baby daddy and the saga continues. Let me take my AirPod out before I forget. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Before I get started, let me say hello again. I'm back and better than ever. No, I'm just kidding, but for real. Welcome in or welcome back. If you catch it on the replay, please double tap that. Hit that thumbs up for a like. If you catch the live, double tap the screen. Welcome back. This is Kiss the Ring, and I am back off in this thing. Listen, I guess when you engage with some stuff, the algorithm just keeps showing you their content. Now, y'all know Westy and Will are at it, okay? And Will popped up and did an interview because he's he got all this stuff to say and it's all on Marissa and ain't on him. But mind you, he is being exposed for who he is, which is a bum. Um, fake lifestyle. You know how some folks do with social media. That's how they do. That's how they roll or whatever. So, um, Will this thing popped up on my feed and I clicked on it because I don't know, it's something I saw, but I said let me click on it and I did. Excuse me. Link play. Hello, welcome. Thanks for the likes. Happy Friday or whatever day this finds you. Hope y'all are all doing very well. I'm not gonna delay getting started too much because well, why delay it? Might as well get all off in it, and it's probably not gonna be very long. So check this out. Not right now, but thank you. Um, maybe later. You gotta stick around for that, I guess, if it's appropriate. But anyway, let me get right into it, right? Because I listened to it and then I started reading the comments, and I'm like, first of all, when I listened to this, I'm like, oh, this did not age well. Then I went to reading the comments and I'm like, oh, wow, check this out. So here we go. This is Will, Marissa's, you funny. This is Will, Marissa's, baby daddy, right? Check this out. This is the date of this is September 2nd of last year, which would mean Marissa was with child, with allegedly his child that he decided not to legally claim because he wanted the child to have his last name and she wanted the child to have her last name. And since their last names are different and he's not the custodial parent, he also didn't sign the birth documents. So therefore, um, I guess she gave the child her last name, and therefore they both have said he didn't sign the birth documents. He's a simp. Moving right along, and he looks short. I wonder how tall he is. He about 5'4", 5'5", 5'6" at the most. Anyway, listen to this. Let me turn the volume up. He said he got a good one for y'all today, right? Right? What is your plans? I know you like, what that mean, King? What I'm saying is, we got 3 months. of that today. He said we got 3 months left to the end of the year, and he put 6 fingers up. 3 on each hand. He said, "We got 3 months left to the end of the year," and he put 3 fingers on one hand, 3 fingers on the other hand, and pointed them at the and moved them by the camera all at the same time. He said, "What is your plans for the end of the year?" So what is your plans? And what I'm asking is your financial plans, plans for your health, plans for your family. You want to know what your financial plans are. What are your plans for your health? And what are your plan? Well, not are is. He said is. What is your financial plans? What is your plans for your health? What is your plans for your family? At the same time that he was recording this, he had a pregnant woman over there stressed the heck out because of his bullcrap and shenanigans. He was scratching and surviving and working a basic minimum wage job, and who knows what's going on with his health, but he didn't care about her health because he was stressing her out and she was pregnant. But he want to ask everybody else that and try to present like Mr. Oh So Wise, when the truth is he's more like a wise guy. Plans for starting a new job, whatever your goals. Plans for starting a new job, whatever your goals. But did he start a new job? Because he should have, because he was getting ready to add a sixth baby to the group of children. Well, two are grown. One just became grown, I guess, and she goes to college. By the way, he claims that he pays for that child's college, which how the hell if the girl was if the young lady was dependent upon him, if that were the case, why wouldn't she apply for FAFSA and probably be qualified to receive a Pell Grant because her father works at Panera Bread? But he's just gonna pay her way through college. His lies don't even make sense. Pressing play. Not only what are they, are you close to finishing them? Are you halfway through and it feels good? So you know by the end of the year that you'll be where you want to be, because guess what? At the end of the year is how you start the next year. So that's the part right there that made me do what I'm doing right now. That last part of what he just said. Because how you end the year is how you start the next year. And so far for his year, that is actually a true statement. Except for the fact that the baby is out of the womb, the life circumstances of his are pretty much the same. So at I don't look at a lot of his stuff because he's full of crap. But as I have been listening to a couple of these shorts more recently, I'm realizing that everything that I'm hearing this man say, he is talking to himself. But he wants the listeners to think he's a wise guy that has his stuff together so he can help. But he is a around 50-year-old man with 6 kids and 6 baby mamas just scratching and surviving. Listen to this. Think about it, right? That last part. Hold on, let's see. It said, oh no, I went back too far. Um, not only what are they? Oh, that was what I want to say. Not only what are your plans, but are you close to finishing them? but apparently he wasn't. And so after I saw that, I decided to go into the comment section, right? Here we go, comment section. Cause the comment section is undefeated. So this is what the first comment, the very first comment. This is from 6 months ago, mind you. This comment. This person says, "Can you elaborate on your plans concerning West Indy? Plus her two sons, plus unborn child." It says, "Tap in with the hammer, and nail down the plans." That's the first comment that shows. And then so he responded to this person. I knew he would go further in the comments. He responded. He said, "Keep my eyes on my own paper as my teacher instructed me to do. And the same advice I suggest you do the same." And then he put prayer hands. No, 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 no. That's kind of not how this works. Him and Westy got it completely mixed up. If you put your business out there, people are going to react to it. That's just how it goes. So the person responds to his response and says, and puts in quotes, "Keep your eyes on your own paper," close quote. This person says, means take care of your own business. Also, no cheating. It said, which also should mean take care of your own business. Don't depend on others that have put in work and now you want help from others to carry your responsibilities. Cheaters are also called liars, thieves, delusional, untrustworthy, etc. Oh, if you didn't understand, please take the time and read it over again. In other words, she's calling him a cheater who's not taking care of his business, right? He must, maybe he deleted something else because she added something else. The same original commenter. She said, "Oh, she said someone is getting a little sensitive." She said, "Or is it that you are in the water? Topic, subject, too deep." She says, "Oh, I forgot. You better get back to work while I can do me." So again, he said something and deleted it. He be doing that with Marissa too. He'll go live and turn it up on her, and then he'll delete it. So it's not surprising to see there's some comments that are missing. And something that she seems to be responding to. So now he comes back and he says, once again, "Teacher, keep your eyes on your own paper." Okay. He said, I guess he's the teacher supposedly. "If you can teach others, how come you ain't teach yourself first?" Okay, anyway, let me continue with the comment. It says, "I'm starting to believe either we have a failure to communicate or you have an issue with comprehension. As a certified teacher with degrees, sort of like my example of the lawyer I presented to you in my teaching moment." That shit don't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. This is how it starts after the explanation point of paper. This is the sentence. It says, "I'm starting to believe either we have a failure to communicate or you have an issue with comprehension as a certified teacher with degrees, sort of like my example of the lawyer I presented to you in my teaching moment." No more punctuation. First of all, it's an incomplete sentence the way it's written. It's also kind of like run on, and it doesn't logically make sense. But he's trying to imply that he is a certified teacher. Bull crap. I could go look him up. I've been resisting looking him up because I feel like it's a waste of time. He's an idiot. So the person responds to him and says, "Wishful thinking on your part. There is no question about what I have stated and your attack on my comprehension." And then she goes on to say, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." She says, "Well, it's time for me to go check on my workers outside. I think it's time for you to check on your baby mama." Got him. Oh, so now she wrote something else. So it looks like she's responding to something he may have deleted. She says, "Oh, I keep my eyes on my paper." She says, "Quite well, all of the time. Thank you." She says, "Stocks, investments, bonds, bank accounts, savings accounts." Then he responds and he says, "Hey, teacher back again." He says, "I thought you were off to enjoy your birthday. What happened? but I don't mind if you stay. I'm always open for dialogue with a certified teacher. So there you go. So he's saying he's the certified teacher. Boy, bye. He probably ain't completed anything ever. He goes on to say, that's exactly what I do. But when a person is in social media, says always asking, begging for money, then I see a problem. And then when her expectant child's working father also gets on the begging wagon, it becomes bigger concerns and questions. Oh, that was the woman responding. In other words, she was saying, that's exactly what I thought that was him. So I gotta read it again. She said exactly what I do. She says, in other words, she's working and minding her business, but you put this stuff out here. So people get to talk about it. And both of them were begging at that point in time. Apparently, that's what she's saying. So she goes on to say, thanks for teachers who teach more than reading, writing, arithmetic, science, math, and health, but also teach life skills such as critical thinking, reasoning, um, hypothetical, cause and effect, etc. Thanks be to God for my parents. Then as she goes on to say, she says, oh, by the way, I am a teacher of life for life, certified, qualified, and bona fide. He responds and says, I would love to see your work. What platform do you use, teacher? And then she says, teacher, what advice? No, he says, teacher, what advice have you given Marissa? But she's talking to him about him. See, every time somebody talks to him about him, he starts bringing Marissa into the conversation. That's what I said earlier. He doesn't take accountability ever. And all he wants to do is put the attention on Marissa. If this person brought up that both of them are begging, then that's it. Worry about yourself in that part of the equation. So he goes on to say, so there are lawyers who have licenses, but does that make them good lawyers? Because studies show every lawyer isn't a good lawyer, teacher. Yeah, but he's saying he's a teacher. If his example is every lawyer isn't a good lawyer, if he considers himself a teacher, not every teacher's a good teacher. How can you be teaching someone to do something or stand in something that you didn't do yourself? Come on, man. When you completely broken and you need a whole lot of work, it makes no sense. So he goes on to say, any advice that was given was not only from myself but from others also. Unfortunately, Marissa chose not to take it, which is her right. It has been a while ago. Now the only response advice that she will take is money. He says, now what were you saying earlier about your teacher taught you? Oh, yes. Explanation point he put. Next sentence, how to hold on to your money, in parentheses, being thrifty, managing a budget, uh, start a savings account, close parentheses. He didn't put punctuation on that sentence though, like he did others. So that means it's running on. But he put a capital letter. It says, maybe you being, oh no, these are all capital, like title text. He says, maybe you being her father. Wait, who is this? Oh, this is her writing. Maybe you being her father or her unborn child, you can start one for the baby. That's my advice to you. Thank you for asking. Have a fabulous Friday. I'm still celebrating my birthday. Ciao now. But she goes on to say, my teaching is within a classroom with live students. I use different methods, examples stated above. She goes on to restate them. These are a few of my strategies to reach my goals. She continues on. She says, no, that doesn't, but that is when common sense comes into play. Do your research just as a person researches for a restaurant, place to shop, vacation, grocery, etc. Research. She goes on to say, I don't teach on a platform. I teach in a classroom with live students and in my community. He goes on to say, study is research, teacher. He says, but a wise man said that the teacher could also learn from the student. I'm not sure if you have ever heard of this before. He's not really that smart because every example that he's using to her to try to make her question herself really applies to him, which means he should use it because he's make putting himself in a higher place, like the teacher, and tried to demean her as like he's the teacher, which implies she would be the student. And she responded and said that she's a teacher that teaches in a live classroom. Now he's saying a teacher can learn from the student. Wouldn't that be true of his conversation with her? He's slow. Something wrong with him. And so he goes on to say, you already said that, but maybe you forgot that going into waters you probably can't swim in, teacher. But enjoy your birthday. Did she respond? She said, studying is not research. Yeah, well, obviously studying isn't research, even though he said it is. He's wrong. She said, research, finding facts on subject, study, going over facts that you have obtained from note taking, etc. He says, correct. The one thing that we both agree on. I actually learned that you actually have done your research on these two words. I'm amazed by your brilliance. He's an idiot. I don't like him. Um, oh, I can swim, but unlike you, I know how to protect myself from things happening in my life that I don't want to have jeopardize my family members' future, etc. I'm not gonna keep reading because this is going on and on and on, and I didn't know this conversation was that long. Says, thank you. I'm having okay. She says, okay. I'm glad. I'm just looking at it real quick. It's back to all right. Well, I'm not gonna keep reading that one because that one is going way longer than I realized. She said, this person, the last comment I'm going to read from this person says, some things are better learned with peers or groups. What your teachers stated, keep your eyes on your own paper, is when it's individual show time, not learning time. Study, study, study. Don't depend, still cheat. The test is on you to pass individually. So I don't want to read any more of that. That was going on way longer than I realized. Now, these are the ones because I saw some other ones and I'm like, okay, here we go. Listen, it says, ask you bum. No, it says, ask you bum BM, the one that's pregnant. She needs to hear this instead of begging. Makes folks hate you. That's what the comment says. Now, here's the one that really got me. This person said Mr. 50 with 6 kids and 6 baby mamas working at Panera Bread. Laugh emojis. Diabolical. Somebody said his catchphrase is corny. It is. It's so damn corny. Somebody responded to that and said, I'm sure. Oh, well, no, that don't have nothing to do with none of them. Oh, damn, this other person is back in the comments saying, I know he doesn't, um, not with all of that big talk he does. Oh, this person didn't know that he was 50 with 6 kids and 6 baby mamas. This person came in, this person he was arguing with in the other little comment, the for he was arguing with her from her comment. She said, I know he doesn't, not with all of that big talking he does. He asked what advice I could give Westy. I told him that I had given suggestions a while back, but she doesn't respond. That many people have given her advice. I don't know what that has to do with that. But anyway, this person said, I caught his live the other day. They do this for clout. All the people talking ish is to make them look like somebody. It's all a ploy to get views. This whole thing I simply repeated what his child's mother said on her platform. Want to be mad? Be mad at her. Like you said, I don't know him. She blasted his info. Damn, so I guess she told this some months back. 50 years old with 6 kids and 6 baby mamas. Now, I was doing the math from 3 years ago when she went on her thing when she was being interviewed by Marcus, and she said he was 45. And I believe that was 3 years ago. But this right here said this was from 6 months ago. And they said that she said he was 50. Doesn't matter. 48, 49, 50. It's all the same, basically. He didn't deny it. He's in the comments there too. He is not denying it. It would be nice if you go help that begging baby mama of yours so that her and her your unborn child and her children don't end up in the streets. Somebody said true, but he probably doesn't have the money to help her. At the same time, okay. Bruh, how do you put yourself in a situation to get a woman like they said, how do you put yourself in a situation to get a woman like Marissa pregnant? Then you're here trying to give some type of motivational, spiritual advice. Come on, man. Only a fool would listen to you. Oh, these people are eating his butt up. Somebody said, dude, why not cook over there with your 6 baby mama and help her stop begging and help her get her food and rent? Because she was asking for groceries back then. He said, oh, now he talking about something, he appreciate the support, but he ain't responding to that. Listen, boy, it's 61 comments on this particular thread. When I tell you they ate his butt alive, boy, they chewed him up and spit him out. And how the kids say, ate and left no crumbs. Boy, they ate him up. It's really true. Nobody in their right mind would take advice from a dude like him. They calling him bums and everything, but he is a bum. You 50 years. It's not because he 50 and he work at Panera. People got to do what they got to do. Some people have situations where they can only get a certain type of job or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So you never know his situation. I'm not dogging this man out because of the fact that he works at Panera Bread. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm trying to say though is that if you have 6 kids, okay, one is a grown man, I believe, with a wife and kids of his own. Okay, one just went to college, so she still needs support. Okay, 4 of them are minors, including one newborn. Okay, excuse me. That means that that man needs enough money to support the 4 minors, help support that child that's in college, because college students still need assistance. Plus, he may not have to support the grown man, son of his, but he would have to do for the grandchildren because that's only right. So there's no way he can take care of himself and all of those responsibilities working at Panera Bread. And then on top of it, he got a baby mama that's financially strapped and she needs assistance, keeping a roof over her head so that his youngest child has a roof over that child's head. And because he chose to make a baby with a woman who has 2 additional children, he should have been trying to be with her and looking out for, at least have given it some sort of a shot. And he can say whatever he want to say, but it doesn't seem like that's the case because she's been more stressed than anything else from day one, and stressed while she was with child. There's bursts and moments of when you saw us in the baby shower video, we were doing good and that was genuine. Yeah, but anybody could be good for an hour a day or something like that, but where's the longevity in it? He didn't. There hasn't been any. So he can't sit here and give anybody any type of advice or whatever. But there should have been at least something, you know what I mean? Which would then mean that he would also be counting in her 2 older children that she brought into the equation. And instead of there being his 6 kids and her 3 kids, 1 kid in common is theirs. So that means that there's a total of 8. No, is it 8? Yes. No, he got 5, she got 2. Oh yeah, that's 8. He has 5 outside of theirs together. She has 2 outside of theirs together. They have 1 in common. So 8 kids. You can't do for 8 kids on a Panera Bread budget. And if you gonna make a baby with her and be with her, then you got to count those kids in too. And so anybody that takes his advice has completely lost their minds. And again, and I'm gonna keep saying it, he is a prime example of watch who you listen to. But at least the people in the comment section know exactly who he is, and they chewed him up and spit him right out. And that's exactly what he deserves. So I wasn't planning to be here too long. I'm gonna get up out of here. I am um hoping that y'all will double tap the screen for a like or hit that thumbs up for a like if you catch this on the replay. And then yeah, so with that being said, I'm gonna get up out of here. I don't know if I'll be back or not, but thanks everybody that watched. Thanks to you for tuning in, and I'm just gonna catch y'all on the rebound. I'm gonna catch y'all on the rebound. I am out of here. Peace.